Hey guys, this is Hannah. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I am a flute and piccolo teacher as well as a writer, and I make videos every week on this YouTube channel all about flute. And today I'm going to be talking about the piccolo, which is very near and dear to my heart, and I am going to talk about how to start on the piccolo. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so starting the piccolo is that there's a big question of should you start on flute first? And in the vast majority of cases, yes, you should start on the flute. It's a lot easier to get a good sound and to get a consistent sound on the flute rather than on the piccolo, because you have a bigger hole that you're blowing into, so it's more forgiving. The piccolo, any issues you have on flute are going to be magnified on the piccolo just because it is so small. It requires a lot more precision. And yeah, so if you aren't already strong in your flute playing, I suggest working on that. And if you want a teacher to help, I also teach online flute lessons. So link to that page will be down below. Feel free to apply, and hopefully I can help you get to a level where you are ready to start. So if you already have the fundamentals of the flute down and you feel pretty confident, then it's time to look at an instrument. I know I've written articles on my blog, and I think I've done a video talking about the different types of piccolos and how to choose which one is best, the different materials you can buy. So I will link as much of those resources down below, but basically you want to find a good instrument that you can afford. As much as it would be nice to pay just like $100 and get one of those piccolos off Amazon, unfortunately they're not that great. So they can be a good tool to figure out if you like playing piccolo if you don't have access to a more expensive instrument, but keep your expectations realistic and know that it's probably not going to last more than a few months. So when you do get a piccolo, you can find some that are very much like flutes. So my first piccolo was an Armstrong 204, and it looks like this. So it literally looks like a tiny flute. It has a lip plate on here, and because of the small tube, it has this little finger rest. So this one I think was about $300 used. New, they run about $1,000. So definitely look for a used piccolo if you're looking to buy, but you're on a tight budget. This got me through most of my undergrad, except I did borrow piccolos for concert stuff, but I marched with this one and would play this one over school breaks when I didn't have access to a school instrument. So it's a good way to get started. You'll also find piccolos with plastic bodies, but with the metal head joints, you can still have the lip plate to adjust to. Although personally, I don't have a problem playing without a lip plate because my current piccolo is right here, and it is a pearl piccolo. I do have the composite, so it is a mix of wood and plastic. It looks like this. As you can see, there's no lip plate or anything on here, and the body is thick enough that I don't need that little finger rest that I have on here. So this is a very common appearance of piccolos, especially wood and plastic and composite. This one I think now is about $1,100 new, but you can find some used for anywhere from like $700 or $800 to $1,000. But yeah, I quite like it. I may upgrade in the future, and as much as I would love to upgrade now, I have to be honest with myself and say that this actually is a really good instrument. I don't really have any issues. I mean, sometimes notes don't come out, but I think that's just me. And it might be just my playing. So it does have a cork, which I need a cork grease for. If you're playing with like the metal head joint, you typically don't need cork, or at least the metal body. Sometimes the metal head joints, if they have a plastic or wood body, it will have the cork. So yeah, just things to think about. And then in terms of starting, a good way to do this is practice flute in the second octave, which is the first octave on the piccolo, same sounding notes. So I don't have my flute out, but just play that second octave A, which would be the first octave A on piccolo, just to kind of get an idea of how it sounds, and you can get an idea of how this feels with your embouchure and all of that, and then you can translate it to the piccolo. So that's a good way to start. I would definitely suggest start slowly with the piccolo. Start, practicing 5 to 10 minutes a day, slowly increase to 15, 20, etc. Based on how much you need to play it, especially with marching band coming up, provided that can happen with everything going on. A lot of marching bands do want you to play piccolo, so that's another great reason to start learning now. Being in school, especially as a flute major, it's good to at least learn the piccolo for a semester or two. You don't have to specialize in it or get really good at it or love it, but just be able to play it, and that will make it a lot easier to find playing opportunities, at least if you're pursuing a career in music. If you're not pursuing a career in music, then you don't have to worry about those things. But if you still want to play piccolo, then by all means do it. It's super fun. You get to float on the top of the ensemble. And so those are some things for starting. In terms of exercises, start with your flute stuff you already know, and that will make the transition to this guy much easier and quicker. Again, take breaks, go back and forth between flute and piccolo to get a sense of how that feels, especially if you have to play a piece with multiple switches. And get a good quality instrument. So Pearl is great. Armstrong is great for beginners. Yamaha, Dijau, Gemeinhardt, all of those brands make excellent piccolos for beginners and students. Then what else? That's about it for starting the piccolo. It can be frustrating at first, but the more you do it, as you probably know with flute, the easier it will get, and you will be able to play fun stuff. Also with the piccolo, get a pair of earplugs. You may not think you need them, but especially if you're going to be playing in the high register a lot, you don't want to lose your hearing, because once it goes, it's gone. It's not coming back. So I usually use Eddie Modic earplugs, and I'll try and link those below as well. Protect yourself. Get a piccolo stand. Yes, it's small. Yes, you can rest it on your music stand, but getting something that will stand it up like this, and that will have, a little a little peg that goes inside the piccolo will keep it secure. And that way, if you are switching between flute and piccolo, so also grab a flute stand, you can just, take it, set it down, pick it up, play it. That's about it. And if you guys have any questions about the piccolo, about starting it, about getting a sound, I do again offer lessons. You're more than welcome to apply, and we can work one-on-one, or you can just leave your questions in the comments. So that is all I have for you guys today. Be sure to leave any questions or anything in the comment section, and leave a like and subscribe if you like this video.